Hello everybody. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about stuff. Don't forget to subscribe. I just have to be dramatic. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. There's a band. New video every single 24 hours. Very big thank you to everyone out there who leaves a comment on every single video to help out the algorithm. Welcome to the blockchain. We got fun and games. Everyone is on full steam right now. I'm not sure if for somehow of a reason you weren't here, you haven't been seeing what's been going on. The general consensus right now is that, so remember back in May and June, we were told that the end of August, September, and October, as we've been going over and over, would be the beginnings of the crazy mega bull run that we've all been basically anticipating since around January. The thing is, as companies, who would have thunk it? As companies and corporations continue to buy absolutely enormous amounts of crypto, the prices keep going up. Who the fudge would have thought that? I was just sending a friend like 5.5 minutes ago. I sent a friend a voice message because he was asking me about the market and stuff like that, and he saw some of the prices and was like, why you do that? And I told him, I was like, well, you know, it's kind of difficult for prices to stay low when you have 3 new companies every single day announcing they're buying $1 billion, announcing they're buying $7 billion. This one company, I don't know if you heard it recently, they're basically frothing at the mouth right now over announcements of how much ether that they're going to be buying. So you've also seen a number of altcoins doing quite well. It is because we have entered a world where for some reason everyone is convinced that Ethereum is going to be the biggest thing on the planet, and therefore they're trying to buy up a lot of it. So when I said that everyone's full steam, everyone in their own respective camp seems to believe, of course, that their coin is the best of every other coin currently out there. This was, I want to say, March, April, May, somewhere around there. It was lightly cooler, breeze-wise in the air. A guy by the name of Samson Mow, might remember. He's one of the top head people currently right now. He's like a level 5 Bitcoin maximalist. Like Jack Dorsey being level 9, level 10. This guy's also pretty intense when it comes to all of these things. And he mentioned before that the cryptocurrency market, that Bitcoin was going to have an Omega candle or a Godzilla candle. I know the references are ridiculous, believe me. I look at the news myself and I go, oh, someone said that out loud. The formalized idea would be, we are used to seeing Bitcoin moving up by 1%, 2%. The altcoins will move up 15% at the exact same time. But for whatever reason, Bitcoin will steadily move up. And then at some point you look back at the charts and you go, wow, it went up 126%. That's magical. What have you. He predicts that if this buying continues, we're basically going to see what he calls Omega candles. So it will no longer be movements of 1% or half of 8%. We will wake up and see that Bitcoin has risen by around $10,000. And this will continue in heavy intervals for basically forever. He says that when this begins, we will basically kind of only know Bitcoin as an asset that makes moves like that, but they won't seem as dramatic in the future. So if Bitcoin's at 100,000 and it moves up by 10,000, that's a 10% move. If Bitcoin's at 1 million and it goes up by 10%, that is the new 1% move. If Bitcoin's at 14 million and goes up by 10,000 per day, what have you, that's his generalized idea. So according to Samson Mao, we are at the gigantic digital fork in the road. He says that there are currently only 2 ways that this is going to go. Samson Mao believes that Bitcoin is not even on the cusp, it's at the there. He said we either Godzilla or Omega up. He said we take all of the oxygen, these are real words by the way, we take all of the oxygen out of the room and altcoins drop by 30 to 40%. And I need to reiterate, Bitcoin maximalist. So there are a lot of people who believe that Bitcoin's going to make it in some form or fashion. But Bitcoin maximalists have long held the belief that when Bitcoin is going up, it's basically going to begin sucking liquidity from the other coins, causing them to either stagnate, lower in price, and Bitcoin kind of goes up forever. It's a weird idea because there are other coins and Bitcoin does not do everything. It doesn't do everything that Ethereum does, XRP, these other like coins that have other functions or quicker transactions per second. But that's usually the generalized idea. Or he says that alt mania, is going to peak, triggering a massive sell-off from altcoins, which would see Bitcoin briefly dipping in price while altcoins tank before going back up essentially infinitely. He also made sure to not mince words and talk about just how much that he doesn't care for Ethereum, which is also a very interesting thing that many Bitcoin maximalists tend to let people know. It's kind of like, there's some kind of food that we all don't like, but we don't sit here talking about like, I don't like oysters. For the love of goodness, I don't know. They're not that. And I can eat most other things, but that one thing, no. But you realize how like, when I start the video, I'm like, welcome back to an oyster-free day, that kind of thing. So a lot of Bitcoin maximalists, for whatever reason, they're explicitly obsessed with letting people know that they don't like Ethereum, because the idea is that Ethereum could become number one or replace Bitcoin. I don't think it's going to happen. I think, of course, there's a chance for everything. There's a chance for me to grow wings and fly to the moon right now, but, the chances are pretty slim. So as we've seen the last few weeks, as prices began to tick up, everyone is talking very positively about their coin, but in like such a grandiose fashion that nothing else could really match it. We have gotten more than a few intense XRP price predictions as of late. I mean, the most unintense one being $15 this year. We're getting a lot of multi-million-dollar Bitcoin price predictions by 2029. We had the illustrious $1.5 million Ethereum price prediction, which, is just special at this point. I think we're eventually going to have a $30,000 Ether. But for many of these situations, it would be great if we got to a $10,000 Ether. Then we can maybe talk about a $50,000 Ether going directly to 1.5 million. Is like, how far in the future ahead really are you? Because we're not quite there yet. So yes, my friends, Samson Mao has predicted that either Bitcoin is going to absorb all the monies within the market, 30 to 40% of the monies within the market, and propel itself upward, or alt season is going to slow down, Bitcoin will dip a bit, and then continue taking money from the market. Who would have thought from a Bitcoin maximalist that someone would think something like that? I will give you the more honest approach. I have a feeling that we are well on our way, unless something tariffy or whatever in the news ends up happening. I have a feeling that we're well on our way to $200,000 per coin. I would dare say the words 250 to 300,000. It just seems believable. Bitcoin mathematically will keep going up if we have this level of accumulation. I think altcoins, many of them, and I'll tell you this as a friend, I think many altcoins are probably going to do a 3x. I slow down when saying a 5x for like a lot of the larger coins. I think we're going to get to a potentially a $3, $4, $5 Cardano. I think we're going to see, if we get this wave of XRP ETFs going through, I think we're going to see a $10 XRP. I think we're going to see an $8, $9, $10,000 Ether. That all of that sort of thing. But there's this really interesting idea of the market kind of like 95xing that's going around right now. The economic situation that we're currently in is a little interessant. So I do think the market is poised to do well, but I personally am not expecting $1 million Bitcoin by December, that kind of thing. But you know, who knows what's coming, because I could not have expected hundreds of companies in January announcing that they were each buying $1 billion worth of Bitcoin plus. So yeah, a lot of, it's nice to see some more optimistic news. We tend to not have bad crypto news, but it's nice to see people believing in certain projects. But be wary of people talking about a $150 XRP this cycle. Probably not going to happen, but I think we're in the groove. For like a lot of like high movements within this market, and I think it's going to bode well for a lot of different coins. Yeah, that's the We Godzilla or Omega. Those are real words. I do hope that you all enjoy. Those are real words. I hope that you all are having a great day. Morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again. Sorry for screaming. Once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.